You're gonna tell the feds everything I want them to know, and you're gonna get everything from them that I want to know.
We're gonna handle B-Mac, and we're gonna do it in a way that doesn't get back to Tommy.
If you don't know me, they will kill me.
You're more like Claudia than I thought. At this pace, you'll both be in the morgue soon.
And between two devils.
Lynn's always find a way.
Call your boss.
If I do this, I'm a dead man.
You 100% dead if you don't.
What's up, ugly ass niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I am back with another video. And you know what to do. If you're new, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share it for your glad friends. On today's video, we will be covering Power Book 4, Forest. And this one right here is the episode 2 final predictions. Now, on this particular video, basically, I'll just be going through all the things that I'm predicting will happen in episode 2, the deaths, the moves that's going to be made, you know, the betrayals, plots, things in that nature. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. So we're going to start the things off with your boy Tommy, and you know where he left off. Now knowing that Vic is a snitch, they are torturing him, like I said in my last video, him and Diamond, and the plan is to get Vic more afraid of them than he is of the feds, so that he could be his inside man in the federal task force that's been launched upon them. He's going to be doing so much damage that he's going to put fear into Vic that he's going to eventually pay a visit back to his auntie, you know, who thought she wasn't going to see him again. But we seen in the episode 2 trailer that he's going to have another conversation with her, and she's going to tell him he's a friend, and they always find their way out of things. So that's when I believe he's going to come up with the bright idea to pay his sister Claudia a visit. And after that, Claudia is probably going to come up with a nice, good plan for them. And once she does do this, of course, she's going to have her own agenda, because that's just who Claudia is. She's going to use Vic to help push her agenda to eventually, of course, get out of prison. And when she does get out, be back on top to run Chicago, right? And speaking of that, she's also going to be paying a visit to, well, not her paying a visit. Stacey Marsh is going to come and pay her a visit, because obviously Claudia ain't going a damn way. You know, she ain't going no motherfucking where, no time soon. But anyways, she, you know, last episode, Stacey made a play to try and get Claudia to help her take down the Marquez cartel. Of course, Claudia denied that, because she knew more than likely that would be suicide, because she's already a sitting duck, and of course, your boy Kun Lau is already there threatening her. So it would be nothing for him to obviously have her taken out in prison. So she's not that stupid. However, another play that she will be willing to take, and I think she will, is to help her take down Tommy Egan. You know how she has this vendetta against Tommy. So she's going to be more than happy to cooperate and help her do that. And in return, Stacey will help her get out of prison. That's how I believe she's going to get out of here, people. It's going to be, you know, a favor for a favor. And then she might even have her, you know, implanted into the organization. Well, not in Tommy's organization, because obviously Tommy wouldn't fall for that. But, you know, she's going to be moving in the shadows. And that is the reason why she's going to need Elise. So, of course, Claudia is still in jail for now, but she won't be there for too long. She probably will be out no later than episode 5, in my opinion. So she's going to need Elise to make her do her dirty work for her right now while she's still in prison. Now, I know Talia, shout out to one of my subscribers, Talia, she said that Shanti told Tommy about Elise, but I don't really think well, obviously I know Tommy never physically seen her. He just may have recognized the name. But either way, you know, she can easily alter her name, say, hey, I'm Brittany, or some shit like that. Make a play, but try to play it well that, you know, Tommy will bite on it. Keep in mind, she is rich and connected. So she can make some kind of plan to lure Tommy in. And of course, she is also going to pay a visit to Shanti. So she's going to be playing a kind of important role here. You know what I'm saying? To get Claudia back into the game. So, you know, there's some love she must have for her to be able to try to infiltrate the organization and work secretly with her. Now, obviously, Shanti knows who Elise is. So the play has to be to try to flip Shanti. Has to be in some kind of way. And of course, you know, Shanti loves to play both sides anyways, but you best to believe Claudia hasn't forgotten what she did. So Claudia is going to have another play to eventually get rid of her. But for now, I think they're going to be on mutual terms because they both have a mutual enemy. Keep in mind, Claudia obviously don't like Tommy because of what has happened, and neither does Shanti. So, you know, they can have a common goal. The enemy of my enemy can be a friend. You know how this stuff works. So she's gonna use this to her advantage, not alert Tommy, of course, because she doesn't want Tommy to know anything about it. It may even be Shanti's plan to say, hey, go by a different name and, you know, do this and do that to get Tommy in good. And then, you know, a seed has now been planted. Now to get to D-Mac. Now, the last time we saw D-Mac, if you remember when he first came out, when they first showed him, he was on his phone looking at what looked like to be some teenagers playing some, you know, doing some gambling, playing dice or something like that. And, you know, as he was on the corner, of course, Gennard came and pulled up on him, told him Diamond sent him and he had a job for him. Of course, D-Mac got into the car. And that was the last we seen of him. Now, we know Diamond gave Gennard the green light to go ahead and take D-Mac out. However, we know that's not going to happen. What's going to end up happening, in my opinion, Gennard is going to act like he's taking him out and then going to come up with some kind of excuse saying the reason why D-Mac got away. Because keep in mind, it is their plan. It's Gennard and Shanti's plan to keep D-Mac alive as long as possible in order to execute their own agenda. So D-Mac will survive this attack because Gennard will let him. Now, to get on with it, next, we know that we're going to get the return of Marshall here. Now, we know D-Mac is desperate to get back into the game. We know that. He made a play on Diamond already. Diamond touched him down. And keep in mind, he was watching that video, and I think they could possibly come up with the bright idea to try and rob those guys or go and gamble or do whatever. He's going to come up with some kind of big play along with Marshall that's going to go terribly wrong. And in my opinion, I think this could potentially lead to the death of your boy Marshall. Because in my opinion, he is very high on my death predictions. I believe it could be this episode, but if it's not this episode, I'm almost willing to bet he will not make it past episode 4. But hey, I could be wrong. But anyways, in my opinion, I think whatever it is that D-Mac is going to have going on is going to lead to the death of Marshall. And this would be great to help with, D-Mac's character development. Also, we know that Tommy is going to be looking for him. We also seen in the exclusive clip that, he was going to be looking for D-Mac. D-Mac was trying to hide in the closet. I believe he's probably going to find him at Marshall's place, like DeMarcus, like you've been saying, I do believe that this is indeed Marsha's place, and he will find him hiding in the closet, pull him out, saying, you know, we all seen the exclusive clip. If you haven't seen it, you know, it is on my channel. You can go back and review it. But you know, he's basically telling D-Mac that you're not getting a seat at the table, which is the name of this episode, a seat at the table. So he's telling him, get a job because I'm not letting you into CBI. As long as I'm in, you're out. So that's what's going to ultimately lead to him trying to make that big move with Marshall, in my opinion. And like I said, it could lead to Marshall's death. The next, very briefly, I think, you know, Tommy and Maria will share their moments and stuff like that. I think she probably is going to remind him about his promise to never harm Miguel. And in my opinion, I think Miguel is going to be very limited in this particular episode, because I just think the story for this particular, the storyline and description for this particular episode doesn't really match him. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him at all, but if we do, it will be very limited, more than likely. And speaking of Miguel, remember, last time he won the albinos over in order to take over the Serbs' territory, and he beat Tommy to the punch. I believe this guy right here is probably going to be part of that organization. Tommy's going to catch him slipping, torture him, and eventually get some information from him, and so that he could tell them where, you know, the albinos keep their stash. And that's when Tommy's going to come up with the bright idea to basically rob the shipment and set it on fire. So I think he's going to get the crew together, you know what I'm saying, do this. He's going to stage the plan, tell them that everything that's going on, and, you know, of course, you're not hating ass Janard is not going to agree with it, because that's a hating ass nigga. And in this particular situation, he's probably actually right, because as we know, the description for this particular episode says, the description reads, Tommy's ambition sets him on a dangerous path, testing his alliance and endangering those close to him. So his alliance is going to be getting tested. And we know the alliance that they are speaking of is the alliance he has with CBI, of course, and the rest of the coalition, right? So, like I said, you can see Janard's side-eye there, because he don't like this shit. And I don't think Diamond is probably going to be even, you know, not going to be too fond of what the plan that Tommy is coming up with for them to execute. But I think he's gonna let it go, because, you know, everything Tommy has done for the most part thus far has worked, so he's giving them a chance. But of course, like we just read, this one here is gonna go terribly wrong. So I think they're gonna go on a mission, a very dangerous mission. There's probably going to be more people involved than, you know, he thought, possibly, and maybe, you know, they're going to be met with a very strong resistance. However, you know, of course, Tommy and Diamond will come out alive, ultimately setting the product, or the warehouse or whatever they keep their stash at, on fire to get rid of them, trying to execute the same plan that him and Ghost did back in the day. You know, remember what they did to Vladimir in season, what was that? What did that happen in what? What did that happen in 2? It's crazy. I can't even remember which season that happened. No, what, 2? Definitely 2. I'm tripping. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. But anyways, that, like they did, Ghost and Tommy did in, you know, season 2, ultimately forcing Vladimir to work with them. So they're gonna run that same plan here. However, this time I think it's going to go terribly wrong, and that's what they're talking about in in the description for this episode, and that's where you're gonna get this thing where Janard's gonna be ugly as hell because he's gonna be happy to finally see Tommy fuck up, and he can finally tell Diamond, see, I told you that nigga is trouble. We don't need him. And remember, we seen in the trailer with him saying Tommy's the reason why motherfuckers are getting shot. I think that's gonna come from this particular episode. If it's not this episode, it's absolutely the next one. And you know, he's gonna tell them they gotta pick a side because eventually he's going to, you know, create a division just like he did in the first season with the treason situation, right? But this time Diamond is going to be with him. Not saying all of that's gonna happen this particular episode, but that's absolutely going to happen eventually. So, you know, Tommy's gonna, because we know at the end, we heard it in the trailer, eventually Tommy's going to become a lone wolf. But lastly but not least, we also know that your boy Vic will be getting a new love interest. I forgot her name. Don't really give a damn right now. We're going to see what her character is like. Maybe she'll be somebody that I end up, you know, finding interesting, and I'll learn her name. But as of now, I don't know who you are, Lil Hoochie. I don't give a damn. But anyways, we know Vic is going to have a new love interest. Hopefully she could be interesting. Maybe she's going to bring something very interesting, a special set of skills to help Vic out on his journey. But we shall see. But anyways, pretty much that is all I got for y'all as far as this particular video. Definitely let me know what y'all thinking up in these comment sections. Could you see this being the end of your boy Marshall? What do you think of the moves that Claudia is making? And also, could you see these moves that Tommy is making right now being the reason that, you know, he ends up being a lone wolf? Let me know all of that and more in these comment sections. And of course, leave your own prediction and theories in there of what you think may happen. But like usual, if you're cool with me, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share with your ugly ass friends. But until the next video, I'm out.